the city of New York has too many people wanting to do business. My hands have several cuts all over my fingers out of physical fights on the street. Yeah, that's how I made my way. I could tell you many crazy stories. I mean, let's put it this way. I had one advantage over, most of the people I've been fighting with. I was able to hold in my hand a big weapon. It's called hot caramelized nuts.
Peanuts, please. Peanuts, yeah, buddy.
People come to the car and say, I can't leave the city without bringing this back. It's like an obligation. My name is Alejandro Rad, and I'm really the original Nuts for Nuts. And I've been Nuts for Nuts for about 25 years. We have about 60 units on the streets of New York. Most of the car carry either 3 or 4, which is peanuts, almonds, cashews, and coconuts. They all are sweet covered. It's a combination of sugar, powder, honey, and water. That's it. It's no salt, no oil. Very simple, made right on the street in front of the customers. I'm originally from Argentina. When I was a kid, you go to every event or you go to the park and you always get to have what is called a garrapiñada. It was these honey roasted peanuts basically, so I grew up eating that. But when I saw someone bringing it to America and they have it in a way that it was very undeveloped, so that was the idea at the beginning, to transform it into some sort of a product that people will link to the streets of New York, like it happened in Argentina. George, I met him, he was working on 32nd and 7th Avenue for the competition. I really saw how hard he was working, and I saw it as a person that could join me and we could make a stronger force on the street. So he finally started working with me at the end of 1993. Juan is his brother. He joined us like 2 years after him. Oh yeah, they've been non-stop, extremely hard-working guys.
Gracias.
Trabajamos todos juntos. La mayoría de la gente trabaja 7 días. Y de acá vamos a 68 y Lexington. Y ahí vamos a dejar a uno de los chicos. Y después iremos a 57 y Lexington, que dejaremos a otro. De ahí a 18 y Sexta. Y dejaremos a mi hermano. Ahora vamos a la 23 y Sexta. Bueno, ahí me bajo yo y armo el carro y esperemos que vengan todos los costumes posibles. Y la he visto para bien, Nueva York está hermoso. Siempre hay mucha gente en todos lados, a toda hora. Siempre hay vida. Todo está andando 24 horas. Creo que no hay muchas ciudades en el mundo donde vos te sientas cómodo a cualquier hora del día, noche, mañana. Almonds, I cook in almonds. So I like almonds, but the peanuts are my favorite.
The products already come pre-mixed. We mix up the raw peanuts, raw cashews, almonds, and coconuts with sugar, powdered honey. We dump it into the copper bowl that contains the water, and then you let it sit over there until it starts the processing. Become a thick bubbling. You start moving the wood spoon, the sugar, the honey dry into the nut itself. The natural fat sweat away from the nuts, and then in that moment start the process of caramelization. It becomes more glazed and shiny.
When you see the color red for the peanuts ready, it takes maybe 15 minutes. When I go home, my family know 1 block away because he feel the smell. Even when you go in the bus, people look into you like, wow. That's the best.
Es agradable con la compañía y con mi hermano. Yo soy mayor y mi hermano es menor. 10 años de diferencia. Es diferente. Argentina es más tranquilo, más... esta ciudad es más grande, tiene más movimiento. Es mucho mejor. Hey, buddy.
Two cashews.
¿Tú?
2 cashews.
Ok, buddy. Thank you.
They sustain families. They put kids to college. They bought their own house.
I have my wife and I have 3 daughters. So I pay all the school, college. I help to my wife too because she go to college too because now she is teacher. I love America. They give me everything what I have. Que tenga buen día.
When I came out for the first time into the United States, I was basically running out of money in a weekly basis. So it was a relative of mine that it was already here in the United States, and they offered me to do something on the weekends. So I was a student Monday to Friday, and I started working with the sweet nuts on the weekends. But it was on and off because every time the visa was getting expired, I was going back home, renew it, come back, because I didn't have the visa that it was required to come after being a student. So I crossed illegally through Mexico from Ciudad Juarez into the city of El Paso. They crossed me through a river. I was in the shoulder of one guy. There was no boat because they needed to be not visible for the border patrol. So I was lucky enough in 1992 to become an American resident. Then in 2000 I became a citizen. Our most important month in a year is December. That's when people shopping around, when people try this and they really like the fact that it's crunchy, appealing, sweet. I understand that some people can really get themselves crazy for these nuts.
Así como caminar la Quinta Avenida, tenés que comprar unos nuts en Nueva York, es una locura. Sobre todo para los turistas. Turistas, verse comiendo esa con una bolsita de nuts en Nueva York es como que estuve en Nueva York, si no, no estuviste.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling the nuts. I like the nuts. This is our first time. We just came from Nevada.
Tourists, yeah.
It is super cool. Kick
Great
ass.
snack for the plane on the way back. Great snack.
When you have a product for so long on the street, really you don't own that anymore. This guy approached us and he said, listen, do you mind if I do a video about your product?
I'm so nuts for nuts, I go nuts for nuts. Every time I see him spend a few bucks on nuts. I'm talking nuts for nuts, I'm a glut for nuts. I eat them all day till my gut erupts.
I love to see people get into more artistic expression over a product that now is belong to all New Yorkers.
I'm nuts for nuts.
I do think that this is an American dream, not just of the fact that you can start, build your own business, but also you become a full knowledge about human nature. And I think that that's one of the most important things that you get to learn. So it's a wonderful, wonderful experience.